Most people lose money in the bear market, but some people make millions. The difference isn't luck. It's knowing exactly what assets to buy and why. Today I'm telling you the two assets I'm buying right now and the macro thesis that makes them unstoppable and what's coming. Here's what most people get wrong about bear markets. They think it's about avoiding losses, so they hide in cash. They sell everything. They wait on the sidelines. Wrong move. A bear market is actually a transfer of wealth. Money doesn't disappear. It moves from people who panic to people who plan. The wealthy don't avoid bear markets. They hunt in them. They buy assets that are oversold. They buy assets that benefit from the macro environment. They buy assets that most people are too scared to touch. And when the market corrects, which it always does, they're sitting on 2 times, 3 times, or sometimes 10x returns. The average person's still in cash, still waiting, still poor. Here's the thing. You don't need to be a genius to do this. You just need to understand one thing. What environment are we actually entering? Because once you know that, the assets that will win becomes obvious. So what's actually coming? We're entering an environment where oil prices are likely to fall. Why? Because of geopolitical tension, oversupply in the market, and slow global growth. When oil is abundant and cheap, energy cost drops. Good for consumers, bad for energy stocks, but great for other certain assets. Inflation is going to stay elevated. The Federal Reserve has been printing money at insane rates. That doesn't just go away, it compounds. You're going to see persistent inflation, 3 to 5% annually, maybe higher for the foreseeable future. Asset tokenization is about to explode. This is a sleeper. Blockchain technology is moving from crypto bro hobby to real world institutional adoption. Banks, pension funds, and governments are waking up to the fact that you can tokenize anything. Real estate, commodities, bonds, art. The infrastructure is being built right now, and the early plays in tokenization are going to be massive. Combine these 3 things and you get a very specific picture of what assets win. Most people don't see this. They're still thinking in the old paradigm. But if you do see it, you know exactly what to buy. Here's the first asset I'm buying, ONDO. Now, if you haven't heard of ONDO, here's why you should pay attention. ONDO is positioning itself as the primary play in real-world asset tokenization. What this means, imagine you own a piece of real estate. Right now, if you want to sell that piece or finance it or raise capital against it, the process is slow and expensive and controlled by banks and lawyers. But what if you could tokenize it? Break it into digital tokens that represent ownership stakes. Suddenly you can raise capital instantly from anywhere in the world, fractionalize ownership, which means you can sell 10% to one investor, 5% to another, etc. Trade it on a 24/7 blockchain networks. Access liquidity without a 6-month closing process. This isn't hypothetical. This is happening. JP Morgan, BlackRock, and other institutional players are already tokenizing assets on blockchain. And ONDO is positioned to be the infrastructure play for this wave. Here's the kicker. Most retail investors have no idea this is coming. When institutional money realizes they can tokenize trillions of dollars of assets and access new market, the infrastructure plays like ONDO will see explosive growth. Now, ONDO is guaranteed to win? No, but it's one of the cleanest plays on the tokenization thesis, and the thesis is real. Why I'm buying it now? Because it's beaten down. Most crypto is down 60 to 80% from peaks. ONDO is available at a fraction of what it will be worth when tokenization goes mainstream. Number 2, institutional adoption is accelerated. Every quarter we see new partnerships and real deployments. The infrastructure is real, not vaporware. The micro environment supports it. In a high world of high inflation and currency weaknesses, real assets become more valuable. And tokenized real assets become the most efficient way to own them globally. This is a 3 to 5 year hold for me. I'm not day trading it. I'm positioning for the moment when tokenization becomes as normal as online banking. For the number 2 asset that I'm buying, you can go to the Human Capital newsletter. So the people that make millions in the bear market aren't smarter than you. They just prepare ahead of time. They understand the macro environment. They identify the assets that benefit. They take positions when prices are depressed. And they hold while everyone panics. Every single week, I break down exactly what's happening in the macro environment, which assets are positioned to win. I call it Human Capital. It's a newsletter where I give you my exact thesis for what's coming, the assets I'm buying and why, a framework for building your own bear market strategy, real analysis, not hype. Most financial content is noise. Human Capital is a signal. Sign up with the link in the description. Join people who aren't going to be poor in the bear market. Join the people who are going to profit from it. This is how millionaires are made, and the next wave of wealth transfer starts now. See you next week.